Okay, we're recording. Today we're going to talk about grades. Let me just put this in my notes here. What's today's date? Today is 15, 12, 15, 20, 24, 10. Okay, there. Courses. Each one. Okay, so we'll take a whole list here. Okay. Hi, Daniel. You hear me? I don't hear you. I hear you, but very softly. Now it's better.
Let me fix it. It's the
Yeah,
gain
now
on
it's
my.
good.
Okay, okay.
Now it's
That should
perfect.
that should be better.
Okay, so how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. I'm glad. Hopefully, we'll get all this done today and we'll be ahead of our schedule, right?
Absolutely. It's all done. It's all done.
Perfect. And just to let you know, it seems when, they have to copy my Wiley from one semester to the other, and then it has to be linked. So somehow it seems like section J, when you do, wasn't checked off, copy the grades to the grade book. And I had someone do that. So what I have is I have an appointment on tomorrow at 10:30 with a Wiley support team, and I got a special link to them, and I had so in this case, instead of working on last semester, what I want them to do is help me link all my sections for next semester and make sure that they're linked properly.
Yeah, it only took maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah, but why bother if we can do it? You know what I mean? Yeah. So and we never checked to see if it actually worked, and the students, I guess, didn't pay attention to it. So
Not one email yet.
What?
Not one email.
Yeah. So I think it was, that they had done it. So why not? So so let's do that. So that's my first one, is finish up. What I want to do is look at the exceptions. Look at, from the exceptions from the A pluses to the C's and C minuses, and as well we'll look at those exceptions for each semester. And then the next thing is I want to discuss what we need to do to prepare for the next semester. I want to make sure that even by January 1 or the 2nd.
It can be done by next week.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. So we're both relaxed. We don't have to worry about it. Then we can add additions, as the semester goes on. Also, this week, I want to contact the woman who's in charge of our room. So once we know, maybe we can even do that today, is figure out when we want to do that, so we can kind of be first in line to get the rooms, because that room is excellent for us no matter what we do. And we also can even reserve a room an extra date and then later on say, hey, we don't need that room. So that'll be great. Those are the issues that I wanted to deal with. Okay, so I got that down. All right, so let's start with.
This is H.
Okay, let's start with H. And in this case, you have it in alphabetical order by last name, right?
Yes.
And then have you uploaded this?
I can't.
Okay, but let's upload it after we confirm. Okay.
So this is the count.
Okay, so we have 4 A pluses, 14. So we basically have 24, and our total number is, in that class, is what, 30 what? I think the total, so we know.
38.
38. Okay, so we have 38 students, and.
Let's see the J. How many students are?
Yeah. So,
38 as well.
Okay. Amazing, huh? So they're really exact. Okay. And is it the same number in the J?
It's slightly different.
Okay. All right. So let's start with H, right?
Yes. The incomplete is Ashton.
Right. Ashton has an incomplete, never took an exam.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the C minus is, let's see.
Who is the C minus?
Michael Fergang.
Okay.
And Frank Andriani.
I've never even heard of. Do you even remember Frank?
No.
So let's start with Michael Fang. I saw maybe once or twice, but Frank I've never even seen. So what did in terms of C minus, what did he do on the exams?
After the curve?
Before the curve. Before the curve.
So the curve was 16 out of 60 added.
Okay.
And that made a 40 and a.
Okay. All right. So what did he, raw scores, what did he get? on
Raw
the
scores, which one? Should we start with,
for test one.
for Michael or for Frank?
Well, let's start with Frank because I don't even know who he is. Do you know who he
Okay.
is?
I don't.
This is H, right?
This is age.
Right, and you even know them
I've
better
never
than
seen him in
me.
class.
What?
I've never seen
So
him
what
in
was
class.
it? What was his attendance even?
77.
Who knows
That's not
how
too
he
bad.
got into that?
Yeah, Michael's was 65
Okay,
attendance.
okay.
So
So he
his
didn't even
raw score on the
right.
exam was a 31, and then he
Okay,
got a 19 on the short answer. And then
okay.
exam 2 was a 30, and then an 18.8.
What was it?
Uh,
30 and an 18.8. Okay.
and then Michael was
Well, let's remain.
okay.
Oh, you want to
Okay.
compare them?
Let's do one at a time.
Let's do one at a time so we can be. Okay, so the Frank. So basically, that's what he got. And what about his? Did he do Wiley? What was his combined score of Wiley?
Well, I combined quizzes, adaptive, and the
Okay, so what did he get?
an 83 in that.
Okay. So he didn't do bad on that. Okay, so what brought him down? The project? And what did he do in the Ninja?
All of those oh, that's what brought him down. He got a 34% average on the assignments.
Okay. Okay.
The project, he got an 85. He didn't do that bad. It's really the assignments that didn't do well.
Mm-hmm. So in the assignments, meaning he didn't do what?
He didn't do the last one.
Which
And
was?
he didn't give me an email. It was the last 3 parts of the Ninja Trader.
Okay, so he didn't do Ninja Trader. Did you do part 1 and part 2 of Ninja Trader?
He did part 1, but not part 2, 3, or 4.
Oh, 2,
And
3.
then
Okay.
he also didn't do the screencasting at all.
Okay.
Let's see.
And how did, and okay.
Final project, he got an 85.4. Mm-hmm.
So it's the assignments that brought him down to someone. Okay.
It was, yeah.
All right, and that was, let me just jot him down. What was his name?
Frank Andrion. I can highlight him if you want.
Yeah, Lisa O'Connor. Frank, let me just move my notepad here. Frank. Yeah. Yeah. Frank Andriani. Okay. Okay. And then his main thing was no Ninja Trader, right?
No Ninja Trader.
No Ninja Trader and screencast, right?
Yeah.
And that's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's look at the other one. What was the other one? C minus?
The other one was Michael Fergang.
Michael Fergang, okay.
So he did not do well on the project. He got a 58.9.
Okay. So hold on, let me start with, okay. So it's Michael I have here, right? He did a project. What else? What's his?
He didn't do the first 2 of the assignments. He didn't do the Zoom or the screencasting at all.
Okay, no screencast or Zoom. Okay.
So that was a 60.81 average in the assignment.
And what about Ninja Trader?
Ninja Trader, he did both.
He did all of it?
Mistakes, but yeah, he did all of those.
All Ninja Trader. Okay. Okay.
And then on the exams, he didn't do too badly.
What did he do?
A 40, but then also a 16 on the short answer.
Okay, so he got exam 1. He got a 40 and a 16. Okay.
And then he got a 40 and then an 18.8.
So he didn't do so bad.
He didn't do too bad. No,
Yeah. In the test.
It all averages out.
Okay, so basically it was an attendance.
Wait, did I make them list? No, they count for equal parts, right?
What?
The short answer and the
yes.
exam. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't make a mistake.
Good. No, but it's good to check. You know what I mean?
Of course. And then I also made this column here so you can
Which
see
one?
if they, this is It's no if they took both. It's yes if they took one, and then it's both if they took neither.
Of the exams.
Yeah, I made a little.
Okay, so
Long
do you
line.
have the one that Ashton? That's
Yeah,
a
Ashton
correct
is
state.
both.
Ashton is both. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess you could look through and make sure everyone had an excuse to not take them.
Yeah, yeah. Most of them did. I
Yeah.
don't. We have to emphasize that more. You know what? Some of them, all of a sudden, they're sick, and I'd say the majority are really sick, and
Yeah.
some are
I,
sick some other way. You know what I
I don't
mean?
think they would risk it, but you never know.
Yeah, but anyways, but if they're sick, and also we're meeting in person, so I really don't want anybody infecting. A lot of
Yeah.
them had like strep throat and things like that. So, but the only thing that we need to encourage them, maybe in the first time, is to let them know that they need to come before the exam with their notes. Hopefully, if there's something that they know in advance. But and also some of like when we have a Monday class, they'll say the NAR was closed on the weekend, so we have to let them know they can go to urgent care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, on the weekends to get some kind of note. So some of them are last minute telling me they're not making the exam. So but definitely they'll get a 0 if they haven't submitted proper
Yeah.
documentation. Okay, so those are the ones, and the C's. That was C minuses, right?
Yeah. So he also did not do well on the quizzes and the adaptive and the
Who?
attendance.
Who?
Michael, it was an average of 69 on that.
Okay, so of which
But
one?
there were a lot of missing adaptives, and then
Missing
there were
adaptives. Okay,
missing
so
quizzes.
I need to know. You know what I mean? I want to, because those will be coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Missing adaptive, and what else?
And then 2 missing quizzes.
And two regular quizzes. Two.
Yeah.
How
There
many
were
missing adaptive?
3.
Three missing adaptive. And two missing what?
Quizzes.
Quizzes. So the Frank basically did, and the Frank on the project did what?
It, Frank got an 85.4.
Yeah.
Michael got a 58.9.
Right. Okay. And then what else was in Frank's no screen cards and Frank's adaptive and quizzes?
He missed 1 quiz.
Okay. One
and
quiz.
1 adaptive.
Miss. So he did basically better.
Yeah, he did do well. It's just the assignments he didn't
Yeah.
really
So okay, right. Miss one assignment. Yeah.
Okay. So then that's the C minus.
Okay.
There were 3 C's.
Okay. Who are the C's?
Let's start from the top. Robert Blank.
Do you remember him?
I remember not giving him the best grades on the.
Yeah, but you don't. Do you remember him in class?
No.
Neither do I. Okay, Robert Blank.
Yeah,
It's Blank. It's a good name. He has a good name, right? Blank in your mind. Okay, Robert Blank got a C. Let me just put here C minus. Hold on.
Some people they show up to class, but they've never spoken a word the whole time.
Yeah, but at least they bothered to show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a way in which we got to. We'll talk about how I can improve getting more class participation, or at least hearing from them. You know what I mean? But that's something else. Frank Adriani, and who was the other one? Michael. Right.
Michael.
C minus. Hold on. C minus. Okay. And this is H, and this is H. Okay. So now I got H as well. Robert Blank got a C. So what was his? Let's go through that. So what about his homework?
So he did not do the second, third, or fourth part of the Ninja Trade.
Oh,
The
no.
first one.
So no 3 NTs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and
He
what
lost
else?
30 points from that. And then he also didn't do the VDI setup, but that was only 1 point.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Yeah.
Because of that, it was a 46.7 overall on all the assignments. And then on the exam, he got a 29 out of 60 on the first part and a 15.
Okay, so he really did. Yeah.
Didn't do too well.
Yeah, no, he did horribly.
And then on exam 2, he got a 39 and a 16.5.
Also not great. Okay.
He did pretty well on the project. He got an 88.08.
Okay.
Let's see.
The project. Okay. So it helped him up from a C minus, I guess.
It did, yeah. And then he didn't do one of the adaptive.
Okay. But he did the majority of adaptive. And what about the quizzes?
He did all the quizzes.
Okay.
Not that well, though.
Okay.
Actually, not that bad, though.
Okay. In the quizzes, if you don't get 100, I don't understand. But anyways.
Yeah.
It's,
Multiple attempts.
Multiple attempts plus it's open, everything, Okay, but that's you know what I mean. That's why I do it. Don't really make much of a difference, But at least, okay. What else?
Jake Bonilla.
So he got a C.
I remember him because he asked me if he thought he would pass.
Okay. Okay. So this is H. So this is which one?
This is Jake Bonilla.
Okay. So he's getting a gift by getting a C. Okay.
Yeah, I mean he's pretty happy with that. I think.
Yeah. No, you know what I mean. I don't need to go over that. Okay. Who else?
Let's see. Then Connor O'Donnell.
Okay. Connor.
Yeah. Connor
O'Donnell. You remember him?
No, not really.
Either do I. Okay.
He did not do well on the Zoom assignments. I could tell you why.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
So he didn't do Zoom, and what else?
Most likely that's because he didn't do the group part.
Okay.
He didn't do the individual part. I don't know which one.
Okay, doesn't. Okay. And what else?
He didn't do the VDI setup.
That's not a big deal.
And then he didn't do the Ninja Trader 3-4 or part 2.
Okay, so 3 Ninja Traders.
Yeah. So
Okay.
he got a 39 average.
Okay, and what else?
The quizzes or the exams he did well actually on. He
What?
got a 46 on the first one.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
And then the second one he did a 37 and a 17.5.
37 and what?
17.5.
17.5. Okay. And what?
Let's see. Oh, there's a lot of missing adapters.
Missing adapters. Okay, I just know.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7
Okay.
missing adapters.
Okay.
Wait, no, 8.
Okay.
That's a 0.
So he could have gotten a B had it been not the missing adapters.
Yeah. Let's see what he got on the project. 86.4.
Okay.
Not that bad.
Yeah.
And then, is that all the C's? Yeah, that's all the C's.
Okay.
Do you want to go over C pluses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm sure the C pluses is going to be another ones that are coming back to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know in advance, so at least.
Only one C plus.
Okay.
It's this kid Sam Thomas.
I don't remember him either. Do you remember him?
He's been emailing me. I told him that the reason that his project was lower than some of the people in his groups was the peer review, and then he said that
They didn't like him?
No, he didn't say that. He said that he believed he submitted his peer review properly and that he filled it out and wrote a lot of answers. Like, he didn't realize that the other people's reviews mattered.
Uh-huh. So
But,
who cares about them? Right.
They did not rate him very well.
Okay. All right.
And I even, I think I followed up with his group members and made sure that they made the right decisions, and they said yes.
Okay. Okay. That's very good. So what did you do? You.
I just sent an email out to each one, and I said, hey, a student is wondering, could you just say you stand behind all of your peer reviews?
Okay. Okay, that's very good.
Yeah.
extra credit, Daniel. You know what I mean? Of confirming, of
Yeah, you got
they,
to right.
yeah, that's good. So he got 78. Okay, so how'd he do in the, so his
His
downfall is
exams,
what?
his let's see.
What did
He
he
did
do?
not do well on the first Ninja Trader. He got a 1.15 out of 10.
Okay, and what about the others?
He got a 7 on the Zoom, a
What about
6.5.
no? What about
Oh,
his other ninja traders? Because they're
the other ones he did fine on. He made a couple mistakes, 26 out of 30. So
okay. No, no NT. I'll just say NT. First NT. Okay.
yeah, I think that was because the file didn't work or something.
Okay.
Um,
How'd he do on the? So how'd he do on his project then?
a 73.61,
So,
and that was
because of
because
it.
of
What?
the peer reviews.
Okay, 73. And what did the group get on their
Let's see.
project?
98.4. He was
Okay.
the only one who didn't do well in the group.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if we go down here,
What?
yep, yeah, they did not rate him very well.
Okay. All right. So that's the Sam Thomas. Okay. And how did he do? Go back to his full record, please.
Sure.
So,
So on the exams, he got a 36 and then a 17.5 on
uh-huh.
the first one, then a 34 and then an 18 on the second one.
So 36 and what?
36, 17.5, and then 34, 18.
34, 18. Okay.
And he didn't do one quiz, and he didn't do any of the adaptive assignments.
Okay. So that's the thing. No adaptive. Okay. That's the key. I'll put. You
And
know.
that was all. Everyone else did a
Okay.
B or above.
Okay. So I just want to know. You know what I mean? These are going to be very important. Let me just save this.
Obviously, Ashton.
What?
We don't need to go over Ashton.
How did? By the way,
He
besides,
didn't. I actually spoke with his group members, and
yeah.
they said that he did absolutely nothing, but they felt bad and gave a higher peer review.
Okay. So, so
Uh,
Ashton, and how did Ashton do on his? Well, no test. How did he finish his homework? So even.
some of them, but not really that many. I mean, he got uh, like a 30% on Ninja Trader.
Okay.
And
So let
then,
me just put him in anyways, Ashton.
yeah, he
Ashton.
didn't,
Ashton. What's his last
it's
name?
Tor Bati.
Tor Bati. He should have failed, basically.
Yeah, he actually, I had to put if it's under, or what was the, yeah, if both the exams aren't there, I just wrote incomplete.
Yeah.
But his raw grade was a 40 or something like that, so he would have failed anyway.
Yeah, he would have failed. So he just got out of it by getting some medical things. You know,
Yeah,
his
I mean,
mental
incomplete is
state.
probably fine.
His mental state wasn't for this class. So we'll see what's next semester. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Maybe he
you'll
takes it
keep
again.
what?
Maybe he takes it again.
I gave him the opportunity. I told him I gave him an incomplete and said that next semester, in the beginning of the semester, he has to contact me and he is required to take both exams.
Okay.
So, you know, even and so let's see even if he contacts us. You know what I mean? He'll get an incomplete later on. It goes to a failing grade, but I'm giving him a chance. He had proper documentations for his
Oh, okay.
medical, so I cannot, you know,
Yeah,
so fail him based on saying, hey, I didn't get a chance to take it. So
I mean, he didn't do 4 quizzes.
okay, so let me just put it anyways. So he basically no quizzes. How many quizzes
He did
missing?
3.
So what are how many are missing?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 missing quizzes. That's the regular quizzes, right?
Yeah, 5 missing quizzes. Sorry.
5 missing quizzes. Yeah. So yeah,
And then
he's basically
7 missing adaptive.
7 missing adaptive. Okay, those are going to count in his grade. If
Well,
he.
and his participation was, well, okay, it was an 88. That's not the worst.
Okay, so he's spoken to me, a number of times. He was in class. You know what I mean? He didn't know what was going on, but he did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know of him, and maybe I know of him for other things. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I know the folks. Okay, so 7 missing quizzes. And what about Ninja Trader? So I can just even put that.
So on parts 2, 3, and 4, he got a 9.25 out of 30. So I'm sure he made some big mistakes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then on the Zoom and on the screencasting, he got 4 out of 10 on both. So
Okay.
at that point, he probably didn't do
Right. So much.
the
Yeah.
individual part.
Yeah. Zoom and
That
screencast.
means he just tagged along with his group.
Yeah. Right. He just. Yeah, he was again. I don't want to judgmentally, but he was not fully there for our session. And some of these kids have definite issues. You know what I mean? And I don't want to label it or judge it, but they were not there. Okay. Okay, so now I can.
Everyone else got B or above.
Okay, so fine. I just want you understand. I just want to have it straight in my mind when they come back to me. You know what I mean?
Do you want to go through the A pluses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because usually I give 1 A plus. So how many did you give? You gave 4.
There's 4.
Okay, and we want to see if they are really outstanding. Okay, so who are the A pluses? And maybe.
Aaron,
Okay.
he did very
Wait. Can
well.
we see their? Where are they in the spreadsheet? Can you highlight that? Because I see.
Yeah, sure. So Aaron.
When sharing your screen, I just see the pink. I don't see. I don't know if you. No. So maybe unshare and then reshare.
Yeah.
Okay, now share again.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, kind of got stuck. Okay. All right. So who are we highlighting?
So Aaron, he had 100% attendance.
Okay, right.
He did well on the assignments, a 95.8 overall.
Okay.
The exams he really did well in. He got a 51, then an 18, and then a 50 and an 18.6.
I was surprised he didn't do that well on the. I would have thought he should have got.
I thought the short answers would be better.
Yes. So. Okay, I would have the short and the short answers is really on the multiple choice I can understand it, but in the short answers you should have a 20.
Yeah, I agree.
And he doesn't have that 20. Okay, and what else?
People had the 20.
What?
There were like 1 or 2 20.
Yeah, right. But those are the those are the ones that really knew their stuff. And then
he missed 1 quiz and a few 4 adaptives.
Okay, he does not deserve an A plus.
Okay, I'll bring him now.
Yeah, bring him to a regular A, which is still good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that is A plus is hey you think about yourself, right? You did everything. There shouldn't be any weakness at all for an A plus. You should really stand out. You understand my?
I'm trying to figure out how I would do that. Do I just weight a grade badly or something?
No, just put a star. I'll just put it. I can keep this the way it is. Don't bother.
Okay.
But I'll put in my notes.
This is.
Yeah, and let me put in H here. You understand? So it's Aaron. Because keep it the way it is, and he's not going to come back. You know what I mean?
No, I'm sure he'll be happy with it.
Yeah, no, you understand? It's A, and what's his last name?
Blatnoy.
Blatnoy. And he is A. And what was he missing?
He was missing 1 quiz and 4 adaptive.
1 quiz, no, for sure. 4 adaptive, and he didn't get he didn't get, and he got
No
a,
20.
what?
No 20 on the exams either. On the written.
No.
Yeah.
So now you know,
I
you
think
may,
have to be very exceptional.
yes. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why I usually, there's only one person or, that I see in the class that, hey, and also he was teaching assistant, and he was,
Disappointing.
yes, right? So it wasn't, oh, you volunteer, for class participation, he was not, exceptional. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have him, I'm giving an A.
Sure. The
Okay.
others.
And who
Luke
else is an A
Comby.
plus? Who?
Luke Comby.
Okay, Luke. Okay.
His final grade percentage
Was
was
one.
120%.
Okay, this may. Okay, so Luke Comey. We
Let's
may just leave it as is. And so, what did he? What did he?
Let's see what he didn't do.
Right. Right.
Oh, he did everything.
Okay.
Oh, one missing adaptive.
Okay, one missing adaptive. Okay. And
But
what else?
everything other than that, like, perfect.
Where is he highlighted there? Oh, here. Okay. One missing adaptive. And how'd he do in Ninja Trader?
That's 100%
Okay.
on everything, on all assignments.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and he was emailing me all the time
Yeah.
asking for feedback.
Oh, okay. No. Okay. Somebody like that, and he participated in class.
He did.
Do you know
And
what I
he
mean?
was a nice person.
Yeah, but I'm just saying we're not grading by niceness, but I'm just telling you that's a side, right? But okay. But this is good for the future too, that you can see on those, even if they get up there, you can see that there has to be, and he has a higher score than Aaron too, right?
Yeah, much higher. Aaron
Right.
Barely. He had a 97.
Right. So basically, it's above 100 that should get the A plus. You know what I mean? Who's the other A plus?
There's two more.
Right.
Jared Deutsch.
Yeah, he's good too, Jared. He's smart.
This was on the edge, a 97.26, but he got 100 in the assignments.
Okay.
His attendance was 100.
Yeah.
His exam was lower than Luke's, but 43, 17.5, 47.
Oh, he got 17.5?
Yeah, and he took both of them.
Okay. And what did he get? He got 17.5, and what was the other open-ended? He got
18.
No. So he did. Okay, so that's not
I put him down.
okay, so what's his last name? Jared
Deutsch. D-E-U-T-S-C-H.
D-E-U-T-S-H.
S-C-H.
S-C-H.
I'll put a note there.
E-T-S-C-H is A. It should be A. Okay. Yeah, if they didn't get 20 on the open-ended or, or 19, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not A plus. Who else?
The last one, I think he'll deserve it.
Yes.
Sebastian
Yeah.
Hernandez. Yeah,
And he did very well. Yeah. See, he got 101.
He got better than Luke.
Yes. Yeah.
100% attendance.
Right.
97.29 on the assignments.
Yeah.
He didn't take the first exam, but on the second one, he got a 54 and then a 20.
Right.
And,
See, that was a 20.
Yeah.
And he did, like, I think he did everybody else. He did the top in the class for.
Do the top in the class.
No, for the exams too.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, those two. So it's. So you know what I would do? Overwrite those two A pluses. That are supposed to be, overwrite the Aaron and who else?
Okay, I'll change.
Just change it. Just overwrite it. We know. And what was the other one? Was it?
Jared.
Okay.
Change that. Up 2 A pluses.
Okay. Those 2 A pluses. You understand my point of view? It's basically, if you got over 100, then it's basically an A plus. In the 90s.
Very close to.
What?
They were on the edge. These people were way ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you want to give that plus. Hey, I deserve, when I get an A plus from Dr. Rush, it's well deserved. You know what I mean? I'm not, the rest is inflated. You know, the majority of these people should have gotten C minuses and D's. You know what I mean? If we really did a straight. So, but this was, even if they had a straight curve, they would have done well. You know what I mean? Without even curving. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see, the J, there's only one A plus here.
Yeah, okay, so fine. So, where are we now? Let me just figure out on the B minuses. So we have C pluses. We went through the C plus, right?
There's no B minus.
There's no B minus. Okay, on H. Okay.
Yeah.
And the and the B plus.
There's 3.
Let's go.
Really close.
Yeah.
That's an 88. That's not that close. 87, not that close. 88.9, not that close. Yeah, none of them are 89 point something.
Okay. Okay.
Are any of them really close? No, they all. Oh wait, this is an A. Yeah, they all seem to be pretty cemented where they should be.
Okay. Okay. All right, and the B minus.
None.
Okay. All right. Okay. And it's good now. You can save this as our final. This is important. Plus, we can go for the next semester. We can go for what are our standards that we can.
Here there was a D on J.
Okay. All right. We'll get to it.
Yeah. I'm gonna start highlighting the C's.
Yeah. Highlight the C's and the D. So we know. Okay. So that was okay. That was H. So let me go to J.
Yes. Oh, there was one student in the J. I had about a 20 email string with him.
Which one?
And Jordan. Let me make sure it's Jordan. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And we got to check Mateo. Mateo's asking me every day, is he going to pass the course?
No, it wasn't Jordan. It was, let's see what. Yeah, Mateo was the B.
Okay. Okay. Mateo wanted to know if he okay. So that's fine. D is, I think, passing.
I do think it is. Let's see.
Who is D? Who got a D?
Mateo.
Okay. All right. He's been every day. He's been not every day, but it's the last one I didn't respond to. It was the other day. Is he going to pass the course? So you know already. And then he gives me all his personal issues.
Actually, no. D is not acceptable for credit hours.
I think you don't, but I think you don't have to retake the course with a D.
No, you don't.
Yeah, that's what. That's all I care about. That I don't see them again. You know what I mean?
The person who was emailing me over and over was Logan.
Okay, Logan. What did?
Logan got a C. We'll come to him.
Okay, we'll come to him. That's well deserved, and he's on the football team, Logan. So
he sent me 20, or we exchanged 23 emails.
And his issue was what?
He said, "Okay, you guys said you would accept this grade," and I said, "Okay, well, let me check." And I looked at it, and I can't download the file. So I tell him the file doesn't work.
Yeah.
He begs me to email it to me. I say, I can't accept that. It has to be done the proper way.
Right.
And then he said he redid it. I checked. The file still didn't work.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he begged me again to email. And it was just that.
Okay. Okay. All right. We'll get to him. Okay. He may be.
It was hilarious, though, to me.
Yeah. Right. Well, I guess he needs to. You know, you have to get certain grades also to remain on. I don't know how good he is in football. You know, I don't keep track of the team, but I'm sure that this is. You know, the grade may not be as crucial as he wants to remain on the football team.
Yeah. Let's start with Mateo. So his attendance was 61.
Okay. So let me just write it down. So Mateo's last name is
Coles.
Cole. Oh, okay.
Coles.
All right. Okay. Attendance.
So
Okay, so
that
he
was
got a
61.
D. Hold on.
Yeah.
He got a D, and his attendance was what?
61.
Okay, 61. Okay.
His overall assignment grade was a 10.8%.
Okay. So he didn't do what?
He showed up to his group for the Zoom,
Okay.
and then he showed up to his group also for the screencasting, but didn't really say anything.
Okay.
And then everything else he just didn't do.
Okay. All right. Nothing, meaning quizzes?
No, I'm saying about assignments.
Okay. Did he do Ninja Trader?
Ninja Trader, no, he didn't do that.
Okay. Okay. No Ninja Trader. And in quizzes, okay, no Ninja Trader. He didn't do the screencast. Okay.
He didn't do the individual screencast.
Okay. Yeah, so no screencast, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Anything that he had to do personally, okay.
Right, yeah. He did take both exams, but
what?
He had a 29 and then a 14, and then a 38 and a 15.8.
Okay. 20, okay, for the test, it was what? 29?
29 and 14.
Okay.
And 38 and 15.8.
Okay. 38. Okay. And 15.8. Okay.
And then.
And quizzes? Did he do them?
He did all the quizzes.
Okay. And what about adaptive?
He's missing 4.
4 adaptive. Okay. And no ninja. Okay. All right. Well deserved, D. Okay.
I think so too.
Yeah, well deserved. Okay.
Let's see. Should we do C minus now?
Yeah, let's go up and.
Okay. So Matt Clark.
Matt who? Clark. Okay. Well, Mateo, just so we know, and Mateo emailed me just now, will he pass? Okay. I'm not going to respond to it. He'll see his grade. Okay. Mateo, and then who's the other one? Matt Clark. Okay.
That's a C minus.
Okay, so he got a C minus. And what is his issues?
He got a 42.35 on the project.
Project 42.5. And then the Mateo basically, I'm sure
He got a 91.5 on the project. He actually did not do bad. But
okay, he didn't do anything, so I'm not bad with the 10. Okay, project 42. Okay, what else?
the homeworks, he got an average of 60.65.
Okay.
He didn't do one of the Ninja Trader assignments.
No, yeah, give me on the thing. No, which one? Number what?
Oh no, he didn't do. No, wait, different. Oh, this is J. I have to pull up Spencer's down.
Yeah, because we want to, especially since this is Spencer's. But you checked Spencer's work.
I did.
Okay.
I just didn't import it into mine.
Yeah, but okay. No, but you checked to see, you know. Yeah, because so you're not as familiar with these.
Yeah. The first part, or the part 2.
Part 2. Okay, no ninja. Part 2. Okay. What else was the weakness? Or he's getting a C minus and not a C.
Well, he didn't do the screen casting. He didn't do that.
Okay.
And he didn't join his group for the Zoom.
Oh, no. Okay. That's important. Which Zoom? The final?
The Zoom No, the Zoom first assignment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. Part 2, no Ninja Trader. Okay, no Zoom. Okay. What else?
On the exams, he got a 44 and a 15.5.
44.
And a 46 and a 15.8.
So he didn't do bad.
Didn't do that bad, no.
Okay. And what was the other one? 40 what?
46 and 15.8.
46 and 15.8. Yeah.
And he did all the quizzes and the adaptives.
Okay. He really. So really, what brought him down was his not
his project grade and his assignment grade.
his assignments. And what didn't he do in assignments? Was I see I see Ninja Trader Part 2 and I see no Zoom. What else didn't he do in homework?
He also didn't do the group part of Zoom. So
Yeah.
no group part of Zoom and then no screencasting at all.
Oh, and no screencast. Okay. Because that's unusual because he did do well on the exam.
Yeah,
relatively.
He's a little bit of an outlier.
Right, he's a little bit, but 15 he didn't do well on the open-ended.
What happened with his?
And attendance?
Attendance 96, actually not bad.
Yeah.
Let's see if it was a bad case.
See if it was what?
Oh, he didn't make any sense on his contributions on the project. That would, like, when we told them to list what they did on the last slide, that didn't make any sense. And
on the last slide or in his own
on the last slide. This isn't just the peer review, this is the last slide. He didn't do that. He apart from that did not do too bad. But the raw score of his project grade was a 79.4. And then
you mean his part or curved or his group had 79?
Well, he didn't do his quality of delivery was not good. He didn't do a video recording.
Oh, he didn't do a video recording. Well, that's important.
Yeah.
No video. So he didn't record at all on the website.
Nothing on the website.
So let's look at that. I think that is no video recording. I think that more, no video recording. Because more than just,
Yeah. In fact, he was the only one in the J section not to do that.
Okay.
So
that should be the criteria. Those that get peer reviewed negative, what I want to see is did they do the the video recording? I think that's essential for us.
Yeah.
I really like that everybody had to do a video recording rather than 3, because at least you say, hey, I made an effort to do a video recording, versus those that kind of get by those poor.
His average peer review multiplier was a 53. So already a bad grade, because it's individual. It's not the group gets the same grade times the peer review.
Yeah.
So already a bad grade because he didn't do part of the project. And then also the peer review multiplier was very bad.
Yeah. But that they saw it. But I think really the essence is what brought him down is hey, you didn't even make an effort on that. Okay, so that's important for me, to look at. Okay. So, and he was the only one in the class, in J, that didn't do a video recording?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
C and H. I think H, everyone. No, H, there was one.
Who did not do?
Connor O'Donnell didn't do it.
Okay, and we're giving him a C, or we're giving him?
C.
Okay, let me put that in my notes too. You know what I mean? That is essence. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah, I was shocked more people didn't fail him.
What?
I thought more people would not have
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I think that's a good motivator,
Absolutely.
you know, of getting some participation in everybody doing a project. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Okay, great. All right. So where are we now? So this is Clark. No video recording. I think that's great. Who else? Do we have? That was a C. He got a C minus, right?
C minus. Yes.
Okay. And who else
Another
is
C
it?
minus. Jordan Gazet.
Okay. He has issues too.
He 92% attendance. Not that bad.
Okay.
His final project was a 78.69%.
Okay, that's not so bad.
It's not
So
the
what?
worst.
What?
Yeah, it's not the worst.
Yeah. Did he do a video recording? Yes, right?
Yeah, he did. He did.
So what was his issue? What's the downfall of him?
Not
Okay.
the best peer review, but also not the worst.
Okay.
I mean, their raw score was a 90.8,
Uh-huh.
and then the peer review brought it to an 86. Or, sorry, to 78.
78. So it's not so bad.
Yeah, it's not the worst.
It's not like Matt that got 42, right? With no video recording.
Yeah.
And what else?
He did not do the Ninja Traders at all.
Okay, no Ninja Trader.
Although he was emailing me. Let's see.
So he's
He just emailed me, like, this morning.
This morning. Saying what? He wanted to do the Ninja Trader or what?
Oh, no, this was a couple days ago.
Okay.
He emailed me and he said that he had done the Ninja Trader assignments.
Uh-huh.
And then he was wondering why they're uncompleted graded.
Yeah, he sent me that too.
I checked the folder, there was nothing there. So, and then I emailed him back immediately, within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I said, at the time of this email, I do not see your assignments in the correct folder. Are they misplaced? And I don't have a reply. This was actually 2 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he thought, you know, that's what he was telling me, that he uploaded it, you know, those stories 2 days before the, yeah. Okay.
It's still, like, the folder's still there. You know?
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay, so no Ninja Trader, and what else?
He didn't show up to the group for either of the Zoom or the screencasting.
Okay, no. Okay, hold on, let me just write this. No. Wait. No group, screencast, and what else? And Zoom. Okay.
Although he did do well on the exams. He got a 46 for multiple choice.
Oh, wow.
And then 16.8.
16.8.
And then 44 and a 17.5.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He missed one quiz and 2 adaptives.
That's not so bad.
Not that bad.
Missing, adaptive.
2 adaptives, 1 quiz.
Okay, 1 quiz. Okay. So basically, he did better than Clark. What was the number? Yeah.
Clark was a 71.24, and Jordan was a 71.43. Because Clark had a much better assignment score.
Okay.
Like, substantially, 40 percentage points more.
Of what?
Of the assignment score.
In science. Okay. Okay. All right. And who else?
For C minus, that was it.
So I had 2 C minuses?
Yes.
Okay.
So 1B, 2 C minuses. Now let's go to the 2 C's.
Then let's look at the 2 C's. Yeah.
So Logan Casey.
Logan. Okay, so that's Logan. Okay.
That is the guy who was.
Yeah, I know. He's the football player. Yeah. Logan.
He had a 72% attendance.
Okay. Logan Casey. Yeah. So he got a C, right?
Yeah. He
So.
did not do well on the final question. 64.94.
Okay.
tell you what. Group 1. Yeah, peer review was bad.
Okay.
Everyone rated him badly.
Okay.
Except for himself.
What?
Except for himself.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
You know, we could do a study on, has there ever been a poor student on the project that also says they were poor?
Yeah, it's always a good student who thinks they didn't do enough.
Right. They're a critique, you know. But I'm just
Yeah.
telling you, they know what they, yeah. Right. Okay. That's another issue. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have the C on Casey, which was well deserved. Okay, who else got a C?
Oh, well, there's more on case if you want.
Okay, so
He didn't do Ninja Trader Part 1
no.
well enough. Like, the file just didn't open.
Okay, no Ninja Trader Part 1. What else?
The exams, a 35 and a 15.
And
then a 40 and a 15.
okay, so you can see how about, yeah, he did poorly on that. And what is the second one? The second test he got what?
40 and 15.
40 and 15. It's the 15, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then he missed one adaptive.
Okay, not so bad. Okay, that's fine. I have no problem with that.
The other C was Maria Vargas Triana.
Okay, Maria Vargas Triana.
So she had a 100% attendance score, an 86.48 from the project. Not bad.
Yeah. So what took her down?
She did not do the parts 2, 3, or 4 of Ninja Trader.
Okay, no Ninja Trader. Okay. And what else?
See, she didn't take the first exam, but she did take the second.
And how'd she do?
A 37 and a 16.
37 and a 16. Okay.
Missed one of the quizzes, one of the adaptives.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So.
And what really took her down?
What took her down?
Was the assignments.
The no Ninja Trader.
Yeah. Well, she did the first Ninja Trader, just not the rest.
Okay. No Ninja Trader, 3 parts.
Yeah.
Hold on. 3.
And this was actually a high C. This could be.
Yeah, maybe we should. And she got 100% into. Yeah. Yeah. What did she get? Yeah, 76.
76.3. And the C plus is 77.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Overwrite that for a C plus. Yeah. Because she's much better than the other C. You know what I mean? When you compare her to the Logan.
Yeah.
In just terms of attendance and.
Night and day.
Yeah.
Okay. Then.
And how'd you do on the exams? Just remind me. 37 and 16 and what else?
She did not take the first one.
Oh, she didn't take the first one. Okay. So she was sick for that or whatever.
You hope she was sick.
What?
You hope she was sick. Like,
I don't know if it was sick or there were also some athletes that weren't able to be there too.
Yeah.
So maybe you have to check if I'll check. I'll put a star there. It's because there was a
check this column. That's all you need to check.
What?
If it's no, that means they took both. If it's yes, that means they took both.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to put here for that Maria Vargas. Okay.
Then, was that it for the C plus? Yeah. C plus. Oh, there were 3. Did we go through them all? Yeah, we did.
Who are the C pluses? I don't remember going through.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at that. Never mind.
Where are there others?
Alexander Coons was a C plus.
Hold on, let me do that. Okay. Alexander Coons C plus, and what grade did he get? And what number was
He got a 78.22.
78.22. Okay. And what is his? Okay,
He
his
didn't do the
his attendance was what?
96.
Okay, attendance 96. Okay. What else?
And final project 97. He did well on that.
Okay, final project. That's also. What was it? 98?
97.
97. Okay.
He did not do the individual part of assignment 1
Of the
of the Zoom.
Zoom. No. Zoom.
He
Okay.
didn't do Ninja Trader at all.
Okay. No NT at all.
At all.
Okay. So then that's what he deserves the C plus. Okay.
But he did very well on the exams. So
Well, what did he do on the exams?
47.19.
Wow. 47.19. What?
45.19.5.
45.19.5. Okay.
But I remember he didn't do a bunch. Yeah, he didn't do two quizzes and what is it? 7.4 adaptives. He didn't do.
Seven adaptives.
Yeah, and then one of the adaptives he just didn't finish.
Okay.
So it was 7.4 that he didn't do.
Okay. And how? Okay. And his project.
The project was good.
Okay.
This was disappointing. He just didn't do.
Yeah. He almost. Yeah. I'm gonna reconsider him. Because he did so well on the exams, and also the open and the open ended. He did well.
We could bump it to a B minus.
Yeah, I would bump him to a B minus.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I would definitely bump him to a B minus. And say the reason you didn't get the B, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was the no Ninja Trader, and and a lot of not the adaptives. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's see. The other was Jason Prince at a C plus.
Okay, Jason Prince. I know his name a lot. He had some issues. So what is his? Let me just put this.
Yeah, he did not do well on the project. Not well at all.
Oh, Jason Prince is with Ellie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. All right. So besides that, Jason Prince, he tried.
Yep.
Basically, I know the backstory is he attempted to do at the last minute. He attempted to do Fastbot, and it didn't work, and he didn't read the instructions. So he attempted, he got an error message, and then he just left it, and he said, I worked hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so he got the problem with the project. What else besides that? And he got what score did we give him? What grade?
77.
No, so he got a C plus?
Yeah.
Okay, so project, I know, I'm going to put Fastbot was his issue. Okay.
He did well on the assignments.
Okay.
No issues really there.
Assignments, he did all of them?
He did all of them, not perfectly, but
okay.
Pretty well.
Like assignments 90%. Meaning, did he do Ninja Trader?
Yeah.
He did do, well, how did he do? Did he do all 4 parts?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Assignment 4 parts, okay, which is important. How did he do on the exams?
A 41 and a 16.
41 and a 16, not bad.
And then a 39 and a 17.
39 and a 17, also not bad. So he, And what else?
He missed one adaptive.
Missed one adaptive, it's not a big deal.
So it's really the project.
It's a project. And what did he get? 77?
On the project? Or overall?
Overall.
Yeah, overall, 77.
And who did we beef up? And what did Kuntz get?
Alexander got a 78.2. He got a 77.3.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think the project, that's very poor performance.
Yeah.
To do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I did absolutely nothing on
And
the.
it's no secret that it's 25% of your grade.
Right, and also he showed up, right? Did we?
96% of the time, yeah.
Okay, and also he showed up for the.
It's almost like senioritis.
Oh, is he a senior?
I don't know.
I don't
Like
know.
end of semesteritis.
Yeah, yeah, no. Okay. He really wasn't bad, but he just screwed up. He just decided not to do the project. I think that he thought he was the only guy in the project, so I think he thought, hey, the girls will do it. You know.
That's not good.
Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so I'll see what I want to do with him. Okay.
So those were the only
C pluses. Okay. And then
and
let me
then
put a
B minus. There were two
and
B minuses.
compare him to Maria. His score.
Maria,
Vargas Tirana.
Vargas was lower. She was 76.3. He was 77.3.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. And do we have C's? We did the C. Who was the C? The C. The C was J. It was Logan. Yeah. And the C minus is. Did we?
Yeah, we did those. It was
Okay.
Matt Clark and Jordan Gap.
Okay. Okay. All right. All
There
right.
were two B minuses.
Okay. Let's look at the B minuses.
Well, one of which we brought up.
Okay. One we brought up, which was Alexander. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason Alexander didn't, because he just did not Ninja Trader, was that the idea?
Yeah, just no Ninja Trader. And it was pretty close. I mean, it's 78.22.
For what?
For
Yeah,
his
yeah,
alcohol.
yeah. No, he deserved to be up. Okay.
And yeah, he did really well in the written parts of that.
Yeah, no. That's why I'm bringing him up. No, he did. He did really well compared to everybody else. He was one of the top, and that's where you do it in the open ended. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
So the only B minus.
Yeah.
Isabel Campino.
Okay. So what was Isabel's? Don't let me just write it. Hold on. This is Isabel. What's her last name? Campino, right?
The downfall of her was her exam score.
Okay, what was her? She only did one exam, right?
Only one, and she got a 29 and a 16.5.
Okay. Okay.
So I think it's fair.
Oh, no. The exam. 29. What was it again?
29 and a 16.5.
Oh, 29 and a 16.
0.5.
Yeah.
Did well on the projects. No issues really with the assignments. Just mediocre.
Yeah. And she did Ninja Trader?
She did Ninja Trader.
Okay.
She missed one quiz. She got 2 4s on the quizzes instead of 10s or something.
How do you do that?
I don't.
How do you do that? I just.
Take home.
What?
It's a take-home quiz.
No, but it's take home twice. Open ended, open book, open. Chat GPT. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I'm not sure.
Right. I just don't know.
And the rest of them were.
Yeah. Okay. B's
plus
plus
A. Well, a lot of A's. That's
okay.
good.
Okay. So who was the A plus?
This is well deserving. Ricardo Sauer.
Oh yeah.
He got a 101.
Yeah. No. Ricardo is mature and he's.
I actually worked with him in a group project in statistics.
Uh-huh.
He's on top of everything.
No, he's great. Well, he's graduating too.
Yeah,
he's a senior and he's going into real estate. He's definitely.
I was glad to see he did well in everything.
Yeah, no, in his class participation. I mean,
51 and 20, 47 and 20.
Say the 20, yeah, top of the heap. That's,
yeah, he did very.
Yeah, no, that well deserved. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we made how many corrections? We made one.
I put a note on each one.
Yeah, put a note. Yeah.
So there's 2 corrections on the J and 2 corrections on the H.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
I'll send this one. I'll put it in.
Put it in the grades and put it fine. Do me a favor, date it and time it.
Okay.
That's the first thing. Put of the date, time, what it, finals. Put it under. Or we have a folder for. And put it for the. Put a separate folder for J and a separate folder for K. It's H. Yeah.
Oh, it's all in one document. Is that all right?
Yeah, but just that. Okay, fine.
So then I guess I could just put in H.
Put it in both.
Okay, I'll put it in both. Let's see.
Yeah,
so
put it
under assignment instructions and exams. Grades.
Under exams, and this is all hidden, right?
Yeah, it's all hidden.
Okay. And then put them in both. So
okay.
That way when I go to J, I have it. I know. So we have them on both. We also have backup and things like that. Yeah. Then I'll download it too. Then I'll upload it as well. Once I put in the grades, I'll upload it there too. Once I fill out the form, then I download you can download the grade, the whole spreadsheet, and I'll put it up for each of them. And the way it does it in two separate sections, so that's why it's good to have them have a duplicate in both sections.
I'm gonna copy it over to the J.
Yeah, copy it over to the J. This was productive, Daniel. Thank you so much. What?
No, I was very productive.
No, it was productive when we got to see the A+.
I enjoyed doing that. It was kind of
fun. Good. Great.
A little data wrangling.
No, it's great. And now what's perfect is you have this spreadsheet for next semester.
Oh yeah, it'll make it.
It'll be a cinch. And we'll check already after the first assignment. What'd be good is to it'll be a great idea is, I don't know if it's Sebastian, before we even start, put Sebastian in as a student and have Sebastian take one of the exams or one of the quizzes to make sure it copies. Yeah, do that. Well, or just put a note there. Put it in.
Okay, I'll do that
afterwards. But put a note to put Sebastian in, and then we'll upgrade him once the.
So I should put him in all the sections.
Put him in all the sections. So to make sure and have him take an adaptive assignment. Yeah. And then we'll know that it'll need to be recopied or something. You know what I mean?
That's perfect.
Because I'll check to see if. Anyways, but it'll be good to see, is everything, because I think once it's done, then maybe we can see, probably or maybe, let's do that in the beginning, because I'm thinking maybe we'll be able to see it anyways, adaptive 1, 2, 3, that will be done. Okay, just do that, and that's another note. Okay, so what we do need to do, do you have some time?
I do.
Okay, so.
I have about 30 minutes.
Okay, so let's do, if you have 30 minutes, let's do 15, okay? Okay. I always like to cut it off. So in 15 minutes, even 10 minutes, what I'd like to do is the course syllabus calendar, just to set up. Later on, you can do the course syllabus, just to set up, to agree what dates we're going to do the first exam and the second exam. And then that way I can get that even immediately. On Monday, I can even ask for the rooms.
I have the academic calendar.
Yeah, because we need the academic calendar and we can work backwards. The second one, we always want to do the week when it. So it starts, class starts January 13th, I believe, right?
Yeah. Here, I'm going to put put it side by side.
Yeah, class starts the 13th, and I think the 20th we're off for.
Can you see? Oh,
I see you're trading.
It doesn't show.
But I saw it for a minute.
I don't know. It doesn't work with split screen, unfortunately.
Okay.
But I'll just show you.
Yeah, just.
I'll start typing.
Yeah. And then share the screen of the adaptive. I know it starts the 13th, and I know the 20th. This is September, so this is the wrong one.
Yeah, this is from.
Oh, okay, all right, but but where is?
So this should be what? The first day of class you said was January 13th.
January 13th is the first day of class.
Yes, and January 13th is
Monday.
Yep.
January 13th is the first day of class. And the 20th we're off. So just like here, September 2nd. 13, 15,
20. 20 gone. This is here. All right.
No class, right. Just like the Labor Day, right. But that's going to be the first week, right. Later on we can worry about the other thing. And the 20th we don't have class. What else in the...
The 22nd is the last day for registration or to add a course.
Okay, which is important. So in that case, is that when we did the groups, I guess, huh? On the 22nd?
Yeah, that's when we start groups.
Yeah, so the 22nd, which is good. So we have 2 days of the 13th, 15th, and then we'll start groups on the 22nd.
Yeah, so we'll start.
Because we're off on the 20th, so. And then those that come in on that Monday, the 27th, we'll just add them to groups, if there's any,
Yeah. So here's what we'll do the groups on this Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then the following Wednesday is the 27th.
No, the following one. Oh, I'm in December. Sorry. Hold on. January. Yeah. The what? Following Monday is the 27th, right?
27th. And then here is the 29th. And the 29th is the last day to drop.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So we can let them know.
This is February 3rd, February 5th.
Do we have any other days off? I don't think there. Well, you got the what?
Memorial Day is somewhere.
No, I don't think Memorial Day's in May.
Oh yeah.
Right. I think the last day of classes is in April. When's spring break? That's what we need to know.
Spring break is March 8th through 16th.
March 8th through the 6th. Okay. So we need to do the exam then.
Before that, right?
Right, before that.
So this is February 3 and 5, 10, 17, 24. This is February 10. So the exam would be this week.
Which what?
March the 3rd, which is perfect, right?
Perfect.
Before.
Yes. Perfect. On that Monday, which is good.
Yeah, we should try to get it on the Monday.
No, Monday, because then, no, for sure. Then Wednesday, we could even do, like, start talking about the group assignments. You know, or even before. Yeah, that's what I need. So I have to put in my notes here, March 3rd. I need to get a room. So let me put this note here. Rooms for spring. So I need March 3rd. March 3 from 3:15 to what? To whatever.
2:10. Oh, 3:15 to what, 6?
No, but I have this. 7. I have the 7. That doesn't matter.
7:30.
Yeah,
yeah. No one's there afterwards.
Yeah, no one's there anyway, so that's no problem. I can even do.
Yeah, so March 8th through 16 is the spring read.
Yeah.
March 16. Okay, so 10 and 12 is no corner.
And then we got to figure out when we'll do the second exam, you know. And the second exam, what I want to do is the last day of class is going to be projects. And then the week before is going to be, you know, their exam.
17. We have Jason come back with the
here. Yeah.
So.
Well, that will work out. I have another, I'll have a lot of other speakers come in, you know, next semester. So we may have a lot more. I'm intending to have a lot more speakers next semester, which are good.
So the next exam would then be April 7th.
April 7th? Yeah. No. We need to have, I want the exam to be later. Then when's the last day of class?
Because we scheduled it this way only because of Thanksgiving. So
Okay.
I'm just going off of what week it was based in.
Okay, but let me find, when is our last class period?
Last class, April 28th.
Okay, so that should be, which is what day of the, let me go to April.
That is Monday, the last week of that month.
Okay. So April, okay, hold on. So April 28th is the last day of the classes.
Yeah.
So the question here is, when are we scheduled to do the second? So April 28th is the last week. And when will use the way that we did this time, then when are you saying the second exam is going to be?
April 14th.
Okay, let me just check the calendar. When is Passover? Because I can't give I can't give exams there. So let me just put in Passover 2025 is when. It says Saturday, evening of Saturday and Sunday. So that's not of the. What date is evening? Okay, so when is the first day? Sundown. Okay, begins April 12th at sundown. And which is, when is April 12th? April
12th. That's the Saturday before the exam would be.
Okay, so April 12th, and then there's going to be, begins sundown, and then there's also, hold on, let me get the calendar right. So we have April 12th, and then it's the 13th too, and then the exam is supposed to be the 14th.
be the 14th.
No, I don't want it the 14th. We can extend that, right?
Make it the Wednesday, maybe?
Yeah, that Wednesday.
That'd be April 16th.
April. And what about making it on the 21st?
That could work as well.
Yeah. So
That's
then
probably better.
that's probably better, and then we can do a review on the 16th, and the thing. So let's do.
Time to focus on the project.
Yeah.
I don't think people.
Yeah. So the 21st. Let's make it, I think, April 21st.
Okay.
Let's make the exam 2. We'll see. And I may have to adjust it based on room availability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think.
But I'm sure if we apply now.
Well, it's sometimes there's scheduled a class there. You remember that we had a problem with the class being there, and then I adjusted with the instructor, and he said we can come in or whatever. So we'll see. So the 21st, and then we may adjust. So that's why it's good to have those dates. So 21st, have the exam, and when do we do presentations? I guess
the last days.
Was that a good time to do the presentation the last day?
I think so.
I think so.
The 28th.
28th, and we could use the 23rd if we needed for, reviewing what people need and things like that.
Yeah.
That works out. And so and then also we can use that week of the 14th. We can even use them for guest speakers. You know what I mean? If we have that extra week for Slack, we can use for guest speakers. There's a possibility too. We'll see. Okay, so the 21st or even the 23rd we could use for a guest speaker too. We'll see. Okay, and the 28th is I like one day to show them exactly what they need to present, what they need to do. And then the 28th. Okay, so I need to ask for March 3rd and also April, what was it?
April 21st.
April 21st. Okay. That'll be good. And then I can review then that week of, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
And there's going to be an extra week now to review for the second one.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, the hardest part in this course, I think, is just getting all the assignments done before the first exam.
Yeah, that's where the rush is. And then doing the project.
Mm-hmm. And I'll reorder this around. So
yeah, no, we can reorder. I just needed to have those dates. I wanted to get those dates out of the way, and then we can reorder. And we can also, before the class, and then we can also modify this and say, there's a new modification of the. But I just want to make sure that we have those dates, putting exams that everybody says they're not going to fly anywhere. Because usually they're flying, I'm going with my parents to blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And if you cannot do this, if you have tickets or whatever, don't take the class or get your, remember there was one she was going.
I can't imagine they're flying like a Monday.
Well, yeah, right. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if you are, don't take this class. That's all. That's not an issue. I'm not telling anybody where they should be taking their class. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would not put in that Jason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna remove.
Yeah, remove those. But we can kind of think about it. There'll be also guest speakers or something like that.
Yeah.
Or even keep those open just for yourself that we knew when he come. We maybe.
This is not.
Yeah, right. And right. Everything's going to move, and you can work on that. You know what I mean? We're not.
I'll work on it end of today, tomorrow.
Oh, even you know what I mean. We can even do it later. You know what I mean? Don't. The earlier the better, but it's not. We're not in a deadline. You understand? The grades. I'm in a deadline. I'd like to get the grades in today, and then what you can do, which is nice, is you can save your grades, and until that Wednesday, you can go back and change a grade.
Yeah.
So that's nice when they have the upload that even you say confirmed, this is your grade, they allow you to come back and unsave your grades and then change the grade. Okay. So if I go through and I see, any of my you know what I mean?
Yeah.
anyone like we did today. You know what I mean? This person really deserves a B minus or whatever. At least he did.
Oh, wait,
What?
April. Oh, this is a problem.
What?
The last day of class is April 28th, but the classes end at 11 p. Oh, p.m. I thought it was a.m. Oh, okay, we're fine.
Never mind. So Monday is the last day of class?
Yeah.
Okay, so probably the Monday is because of because we're taking January 20th off. So they give us an extra. That's why only the Mondays are having. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so we got that basically, and we can make little adjustment. And then you can do whenever you're free. You know, the more that we do, and I think I'll get back to you after. You know, what'd be good is maybe I have a meeting with Blackboard on Monday at 10 tomorrow at 10:30, and then make sure that everything is linked properly. You know, already I put you as teaching assistant. Did you get that already?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so you're already in there. They've copied everything from H. They've copied to all three sections there. What, you know, you'll go in there and, you know, like the announcements, I guess just delete all announcements.
Yeah, I'll remove everything.
You know, and just sometimes it may be, you know, good to see what, you know, for other things you can decide.
Once I get done with the schedule, the syllabus, and everything, then I'll just.
Yeah, you know, we have time, but I'd like to get everything by the end of the year. I want.
Certainly. I'll have it.
And it'll be good, you know what I mean? We'll set up another time to meet, and I'd like to at least get everything up and running so you can think about, you can enjoy yourself too. Do you guys have plans, or what are you guys going to do?
My grandmother and my mom's side's coming in from Australia.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. This Wednesday. She's like 85 years old.
Wow.
And she's still playing tennis and everything.
Wow. So you can go. Do you play tennis?
I do.
So you can play with her.
Yeah. I don't know. She might beat me. I'm scared.
You're scared. Your grandma beat you. That's good.
She won a women's tournament over there. I don't know.
Okay, so great. You should be proud if she can beat you.
Yeah.
You should be proud of her. So is your mother from Australia?
She is.
Oh, wow.
And then my dad's from Chile.
Oh, wow. What a combination.
I know. And they met in Singapore.
Wow. Wow. And how did they meet in Singapore?
Well, my mom, straight out of college, started working for Ernst & Young.
Mm-hmm.
And they offered her a job there. And then my dad, out of college, started a brewery kind of restaurant thing in Singapore with all of his friends.
From the state, he was born in Chile and he went to Singapore?
Well, he was born in Chile. He grew up a little bit in Costa Rica, and then mainly in mainland U.S. In like New York, upstate New York.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow, what a nice combination. Oh, is that
Very
sweet?
Interesting.
I always love those, you know. I think that's what makes the world go round. You know what I mean? It also makes stronger genes. That's what I say. You know what I mean?
That's true.
People from different places. Oh, wow. And have you been to Australia?
I have.
Oh, wow.
I prefer the U.S., but it's nice.
What? Yeah, no, but I'm just saying the idea that you can get, wow, and your mom
It's
coming.
a very far flight.
Oh, yeah, I hate that kind of flight, but no, but fantastic. And that she's coming here and she can take that. Wow, and so that's what you're doing so how long is she going to stay?
She's going to be here for about a month.
Oh, wow, wonderful.
Yeah. It'll be nice.
Yeah, so it's an opportunity. And do you have a tennis court at the place there?
No, but we go to the Key Biscayne courts.
Oh, yeah, they're nice.
They're
yeah.
good.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, I used to have one of my former students. She lived in Fisher Island.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
And
that fitness place is wonderful.
Yeah, so we used to go and play on clay. You know, there. They had a clay courts. Yeah, she was interesting. Family.
I always liked clay.
What?
In New York, they had a bubble on, I think, 50th Street or 40th Street or something, and it was just clay courts. I used to go there all the time.
Yeah, I haven't played clay courts in a while. Okay, so that's fabulous. Okay, great. So you're going to stay in Miami, or you're going to?
Yeah, we're going to stay here.
Yeah, well, to me, it's always people are always asking, why would you go anywhere? People. Why would you leave? Especially these are the days that you just Want to soak up the weather. Okay, great. All right, so that'll be an opportunity too. Leave it if you can get everything done. If we can get everything done before Wednesday, it'd be great. Then you can spend the whole.
I can.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that then you can spend time with your family and.
That's the plan, at least.
Yeah, that's a plan, and that's what I'm saying. We can be flexible. You know how
Yeah.
we operate. Okay, so I got the dates. Tomorrow I'm gonna do the Wiley Plus. So hopefully they'll help me do all the proper links. I think then we'll be able even to see in the grade book if all the sections have the adaptive assignment, because we probably, it's a problem with me, I never checked the grade book to see if probably adaptive assignments were never moved over, so we don't even need a student there.
Yeah. No. You can check with it.
Yeah, we can even check if the adaptive assignments rolled over.
I had never inputted grades into the J, so I never looked.
Right. But also, you probably weren't
I
doing.
should have looked.
No, but it's not even the thing. I should have, we all, now that we know, but it's the type of thing, the adaptive assignment was nothing that you needed to be grading. It was graded automatically, so there really was
Yeah.
not a reason for you to look at it. You know what I mean? But we'll decide, and then we'll decide on what we'll be doing differently. And I'm debating whether I should continue with Ninja Trader. I'm still debating with that. We'll discuss that later if we should do some other assignment rather than that,
Okay.
because that was
It definitely is the most confusing one.
yeah, it's the most confusing one, and I was really disappointed how they put our how they set that up. That nothing got saved.
Yeah.
They added the
Yeah.
Citrix part to it that they really wasn't paying. But we'll see. Also, what's nice is now, that we had the director of security, remember?
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll remain. That's a type of position they don't stay long.
Yeah.
So if he's there, he's all geared up in working with us. So
Okay.
if maybe I can reach out to him too to see if the Citrix part was done and things. Maybe he can remove it. He was so kind. I asked also for a token rather than just having my phone for Duo.
Wait, they do that?
What?
Oh,
I don't know if they do it for what.
That's definitely a teacher or a professor only thing.
I don't know, but I requested it and they said, well, you have to apply personally. We're not doing it now for everyone because I had it before. And he was so kind. Not even that. I contacted him directly and I asked, can I get a token? Oh, sure, for sure. Let me have it. Where do you want it delivered to? So it wasn't even I had to go. So I'm just saying that's a good connection. Oh, one more thing I'm thinking about
Sure.
is, I'm on the advisory computing committee, which is so important for us because then I get to hear and feedback from what they're going to do. So what they're doing now is they're giving all full-time faculty access to Microsoft's Office with built-in Copilot.
Oh.
They're not giving it to students because it's costing them per seat. But the head of IT, the CIO said, if you make special requests, they may give it. So I'm wondering, before even the semester starts, should I, or at, once we have everybody in the class, is to ask for permission for Microsoft Copilot that's built into Office. So then you would have, when you open up Excel, you have Copilot there. I don't know how, I looked at it. I was not impressed.
Okay.
And so I wasn't even using it. I thought it was more, but when I was looking at it, it was through the cloud. They said it was also, do you get Microsoft as students to have it downloaded, to also have it on your computer?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so he said that we would have it there, so maybe. My question to you, is it worth it for me to request? our classes are 3
For what
classes,
assignment?
and that would also include you, right?
Yeah, but for what assignment would that be used, or just
I
for?
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should have it. I don't know. Maybe it could be used for one. I thought about is projects. You could be when you did like a Gen consulting, you could then consult people on Copilot with
Yeah.
Excel and all of the Office products. Think about
Maybe.
it.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Think about whether it's because it's again. I don't want to ask things if we're not going to, you know what I mean, if it's
Yeah.
useless. You know what I mean? I want to, it's almost preserve that,
Yeah,
my,
don't use it if you don't have to.
no, but almost reserve my credibility there. Oh, she's asking for all the time for stuff that she doesn't even use. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean? I want to use my this is important for us. All my students, like the Ninja Trader. Hey, you guys got to do that for me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I won't be able to teach, but I think I can make a case for it. It's the question: look at it and see, and research it and see is it worthwhile to
Okay.
incorporate it in anything in Microsoft. Because you could always go to the Copilot. I always like the other ones better than Copilot, anyways.
Yeah. Have you tried the ChatGPT O1?
The O1, no.
It's very impressive.
Is it?
It can code very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yesterday I went for a whole day with Google.
Oh, their new Gemini is very good.
Yeah, they're Gemini, but what I saw, and this is what I wanted to do, I met a woman there. She gave a lecture on apps for Google Docs for spreadsheets. It's called App Script. And she's a guru on App Script. So I spoke to her and I asked her if she wanted to come as a guest speaker. She lives in Kansas, or she's part in California. So I said, hey, you can come online. So she was excited about it. So I'm meeting her the first week in January on Zoom to have her come in. And she's a teacher in math. So she had an example. So she had an example, like a student database, with grades or something like that. And then she creates an app within Google Spreadsheet, Google Sheets.
Okay.
So I'm going to look at that. So that may be of an interest that we could she could show something and she could provide the data, or I could work with her, or we can work with her together to have the students learn. I think that's good within that. And then, any type of coding with the scripts, with the formulas, she goes out to Gemini and asks, this is what I want, this is the view I want, and it produces, the correct formula, and she just, cuts and pastes.
That's pretty smart.
And then you
Or she
get,
probably already knows how to code as well.
yeah, but I'm just saying, why bother, for our students, and it's quick, quick and dirty, but I'll look at it. But look at it. It's app scripts
Yeah,
for Google Sheets. So we'll see for her to come in maybe earlier and do, and then even students can, and she makes a living on that. Part living. She's a teacher and she helps businesses, small businesses. Like she says, she was doing therapists want to see their clients, their appointments, and different views. So she creates for them an app that they can use with Google Sheets. Did you use Google Sheets in high school?
No.
Okay, they didn't make requirement because
I know how to use it.
no,
it's
but
the
I'm
same
just
thing as Excel.
the same thing as Excel. So I don't know. We'll see. That was I don't use Google Sheets either. I use Excel.
I
So
like Excel better.
I do too. So and
Google Sheets lets you bring people on there. That's the one thing.
yeah, yeah. So anyways, I'll talk to her. I'll see what she's available to. So that would be the thing. If Copilot can do some of those things where VBA, used to be, and now they were doing JavaScript or something. I haven't kept up with that. So those are a couple of things I have in mind on that. And then another thing is we need to get in touch with Jason.
Yeah, we have to do that pretty soon.
We have to do that pretty soon. Maybe I told him in the beginning of in January. I don't want to do it now. We're working on our semester. I don't want to take that, but in the third or fourth week maybe of after the first week we can meet with him, and then I wanted to see if he's done voice.
Yeah.
And then I also wanted to reach out to the city of Coral Gables and see if they're interested, and maybe we can I can make an introduction there, and they can do something. And maybe even with that project, maybe Coral Gables or something will, you can work with them or something like that. We'll do something. So that's what we have. Okay, great. I think it was accomplished. We took a longer than I expected, but it should be good. Okay. Have a good day and enjoy, and then I'll let you know on Monday. I'll send you a note just to see how it worked with that. Okay, great. Take care.
Hello?
Hey, Ronnie.
Hey Sarah, how you doing?
Okay, where are you? Are you out? Can I talk for a minute or what?
Yeah, I did my morning walk, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to reserve rooms for next
Right.
semester,
Okay.
and when I looked up Pesach for next semester, is that the only thing I have to worry about, right? And spring break.
Yeah, I don't even know when spring break is,
Spring
but
break, I know, but spring break is on the 8th. So I made my exam the Monday before spring break.
okay, you're very generous. I usually do it Friday before spring break.
I know, but I figured even the
Uh,
Wednesday, I don't want the hassle. And also, I'm really due for it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
right,
I could have done my exam earlier, but I just like it right before the spring break, so they leave me alone.
right.
Um, it says
Yeah.
here,
So Pesach, okay, when is Pesach?
Pesach, it says it begins April 12th.
Yeah, so Pesach starts Saturday. It's Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Now, if you're really Orthodox, you
Yeah,
also
that's what I wanted to check with my rabbi here.
Okay, if you're really orthodox,
Yeah.
you also do the 14.
Okay, I was having my exam April 21st, so that's no problem, right? Yeah,
That's
yeah, because
finished already.
I was going to do my exam on the 14th, but I was.
No, 14th for Orthodox. It's a holiday. So
Okay, which is the last day of.
no, it's the second day of Pesach. Hello.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so in the exile where we are,
Yeah.
you do the first and the seventh.
Okay, so here
So
it's.
the 13 and 14 are just as holy for Orthodox.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so is
What else is?
and so is 19 and 20.
Okay, but
which is the weekend.
Okay, but the 21st is not. So can I give an example?
21st is not. No,
So,
21st is finished. You don't do anything anymore.
okay, so can I give an exam? Can I schedule an exam for
the holiday ends on Sunday at 20th.
Okay, so should I make the exam on the 20th or the 23rd? I'd rather do it on the 21st. The 21st or the 23rd. I'm all right to make it on the 21st? Monday?
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, you can do it on the 21st. If you really want to play it safe, then you just do it on the 23rd.
Because?
Because they'll say, well, I had to travel and I had to do.
I can't try.
The feast on Sunday, and all kinds of things.
Okay, so I'd be better off to do it on the 23rd because the last day of class.
Yeah, I would do it either the 16th or the 23rd because the 16th is the middle of Pesach, but it's not a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do it the 23rd. The 21st, you're opening yourself up to travel because the holiday didn't end until Sunday night, and you couldn't travel. And
So I'm better off doing on the 23rd or the 16th. I'd rather.
Yeah, and 16 is the middle of Pesach, which is Chol HaMoed, but the holiday itself is 13, 14.
Okay, so the students don't go away for the whole week; they just go away, kind of. And then
14, the 15, they can come back.
Okay, and then they say I can't, and the 20th on that weekend they're going to say I can't study during that time, for the 21st for the exam.
Yeah, also they can't study. So the safest is really the 23rd.
Yeah, okay, I'll make it.
The safest is the 23rd.
I'll make it. What do I care? But it's not like spring break that it's where I have to argue with them. So it's Wednesday the 23rd. Okay.
Yeah, they have plenty of time to come back.
Because I do
build all the pyramids they want and everything.
Right. Oh, okay. And I'm checking with my rabbi. You know what I mean?
Sorry, you went out. You're checking with what? With the rabbi?
With you're my rabbi.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. I know the first and second night. You know what I mean. But after that, I don't know what is what is proper. Yeah. So that way they'll say that I couldn't study on the 19th and 20th. Yeah. Because I had one of those.
But they have the 21st and the 22nd to study.
Yeah. Okay. So because I need to make I want to make the reservations with what's her name? With Priscilla. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Kol tov. Bye.
Okay, no problem. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, hey, Sarah.
Yeah, just in case, am I allowed, is it there still, if I had to, the 28th is the last day of classes, April 28th, that Monday. Am I allowed to give an exam? It's not a final, it's a second exam, in case that 23rd doesn't work out.
No, I don't think so. I think that you're not supposed to give exams the last week.
So the 28th, so the 23rd is okay to give an exam.
Yeah, because it's still not the last week.
So I cannot. So that's in practice already.
So it finishes the 28th.
Yeah, Monday.
Yes, so that technically speaking, it's not the last.
Right.
Nobody will come and say anything.
Right.
But the last day of class is kind of
Yeah, right. I do the presentations the last days anyways. I like it that way so they finish up. Okay, so the 23rd. Okay. Yeah. All right, Litro. Sorry. Okay. Bye. Thank you, Rabbi.
No problem. Bye. Okay, no problem.